everyone, this is Korath Landwalker, and tonight, another exciting episode in Star Trek Online. So, last week we decided to go off the beaten path. Instead of starting the Iconian War, I decided to go back into a group of adventures that was done in the early days of Star Trek Online that were unjustly torn from the episode chain, I guess. The chain of episode arcs. Starting with Cold Equations, or as some folks might be more familiar with, the Breen/Deferi arc. So let us get the Klingon warrior / recruit Zidane into the game and see where things are at. And the answer to that is, well, I've got some reputation, and I've got some other missions rolling here. Let's do the Admiralty stuff first. We're going to grab a bunch of these Ferengi ones, which I think should get me to level 5. Yes, there we go. And I believe...
Congratulations, General.
Ooh, and another specialization point. Well, that'll be next. Now that gives me the that opens up, since I have 2 at level 5 or higher, I open up another slot. So now the next slot and last slot that I'm going to get is going to be get to level 10. No, I don't think it's level 10 actually. I think it's actually tier 10 for the I'm not sure if they're talking level 10 or from the level or the 10 tours of duty. I'm not actually sure. Unfortunately, last week I discovered that I'd been doing this all wrong, because I realized that over here in my Klingon receiver, if I were to look at my lead warriors of the Empire, they want me to get to level 10 in the Klingon Admiralty campaign. Oops. Really, it was an honest mistake. Anybody could have made it. Nobody's buying that, is it? What does my duty officers look like? 11 passengers, so I'm going to move these guys off of my inventory into my duty officer passenger list, and at some point I'll find some method of disposing of them. That sounded wrong, didn't it? Actually, what I want to do is to port these guys to the perimeter, so let's see if I have anything that will allow me to ship them away. Oh god, bridge officer applicant. Hey, always take an opportunity to see if you can get a bridge officer. Next step, operations. Send them to the perimeter. Unfortunately, that's all I've got for them. Well, you know, hey, that's okay. Alright, Admiralty. So, we're going to have to start taking some of the Klingon assignments because, oh, and the tour of duty is right here, right at the start. Man, how can I get this lucky? That's rhetorical. Don't answer that. One ship will take care of that. And then we're going to start looking at the ones that give me high payoff on campaign XP. Unfortunately, it's still going to be a little bit tricky. Well, you know, that's why I have some of these high-end stuff for. Let's see, I need something with at least 40 in... 40 and 30-ish. Or something that gives me bonuses with science and well, bonus with the science ships, I guess. There we go. Sometimes it requires just a little bit of finesse. High engineering. Luckily, I've got plenty of high engineering ships. And thankfully, since I've got the extra campaign slot open, I'm not going to say go really hog wild on it, because that would be an inaccurate statement, but I do feel a little freer to get some better ships rolling. Okay, so engineering is my last one. I need 20 some on that. Unfortunately, I'm not getting what you call too many high value XP missions. Ew, okay, this one I want to ignore engineer if I can find one. There we are. Still not great, but you take what you can get. Okay, if I can just find that something that's 20 and 20 on engineering and on science. Although this might be able to get me close enough to it. There we go. It's always good to watch for the ones that give you special bonuses. 450 is definitely the winner. And astonishingly requiring not a whole lot in the way of heavy lifting for the ships. And I just need 10. And this, I think, will probably be the last slot. I mean, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think I am. So we'll just scroll it down and grab. I'm being kind of iffy about what I choose here, although I'm trying to ignore the ones that say ignoring events. And there we go, the last assignment. Which is a pity because we had a nice fat 600 XP mission right here. Oh, that's okay. I think there's a pretty good chance that, yeah, I'll have a couple slots opened up tonight as we go along, so if I can remember that, I'll be okay. What's this here? Battle of the Stovacor. Why did I just... I have no idea how come that didn't stick on. Unless I put something else. I don't know. We'll just go move on. Ignore it and move on. We'll worry. I'm not going to worry about that. Colonization for the Romulans. So we're going to continue working our way slowly to the next tier. I don't know if we'll get to tier 3 or not. Hey, Legend Eternal, how are you doing this evening? Hope things are going well with you. Delta Alliance. Well, that one actually has a pretty good shot at being tier 3 by, maybe even... Oh! I'm there now. Awesome. And Cap, who claims he was here first, he just didn't say anything yet. Yeah, y'all taking advantage of the fact that I can't actually see who's actually on stream at the moment because of the fact that I'm using this, my iPad as my second screen to monitor chat and all that, so. And it's horribly inadequate as far as mod duties and similar. So y'all got off lucky there. Do I want to bother doing another daily? Well, I can't really get anything else for 45 Delta marks. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just going to leave it alone. I was here for the countdown. Neener, neener, neener. Well, I see we've decided to really ramp up the maturity level of this stream. Then again, who am I to talk? And of course, I continue pushing towards the competitive war games, even though my marks are dropping like flies. I'm only going to have a couple more weeks of that before I run out of space there. But you never know when I'll have access to another one. I was more mature first. Never change, guys. Never change. Oh yeah, and the last thing, since I did get that extra specialization slot point, I can either start with my tier 2 for my miracle worker, which will allow me to throw out the manual and have a chance to critically heal, or I can go back to working the intelligence officer and start playing around with some of these ground skills. I think it's time to start pushing the intel a little bit more. If for no other reason than the fact that, well, my ship is an intel ship. It just has Miracle Worker as a side benefit. So, do I want to do more? Do I want to blind the guy? Yes, I do want to blind him. Sure, why not? I don't even know how that's even a question. I could have taken the whole obliterate defense and slam down their damage resistance, but no, I like the whole blind thing going on here. I'll especially like it with the next specialization point because they'll be for 6 seconds instead of 3. 6 seconds will be noticeable. I'm not sure if 3 will be all that noticeable. Alright, Administrivia done. Before we start rolling, I just want to throw this little reminder out that in 2 weeks, I will be doing my 2-year anniversary stream. Isn't that kind of a nice way? Two. I'm easily amused. I can't help that. And, well, something different. Kind of. But that's the future. We're going to look at a different future right now, which consists of continuing the Cold Equations arc. So we are going to contact Ambassador Sura and see what he wants to say about the situation. As you may recall, last week we discovered that the Breen were basically picking on the Deferi and pretty much anything else in this region of space, trying to find clues to the Preserver Archive, which theoretically has all kinds of information related to the ancient preservers, which must have all sorts of incredibly ancient and sophisticated technology. Let's see if we can get there first. So, we're going to begin Cold Case. You must return to Defera immediately. The Breen are searching for preserver technology, and they have once again targeted the ruins near our city. I fear that more of my people will die, and with each death, the balance shifts. These attacks need to stop. We are depending on you. Stop the Breen and keep the secrets of the preservers safe from their treachery. So, we will get our usual trifecta of experience points, expertise, and dilithium, and we have a couple of interesting possibilities here. One, super cooled combat impulse engines, which is great if you're going for the Breen equipment set, which, admittedly, I'm not. Or a biothermal dampener. And this is a little more interesting, and we'll see what it does in a bit, because that's likely what I'm going to be picking. But it's not what you think it is. That I can guarantee. So, back to Defera, and Defera is, well, pretty much right across the street. I really don't need to transwarp there, but it'll still be faster than going there through sector space travel. So, cold case. Now, we've been at the ruins once before where the Breen were hanging around, and I was making a remark that it seemed like a big thing to ignore in that episode, and figured surely we're going to follow up on it at some point. Surprise! We're following up on it tonight. Although the first thing we gotta do is get through this extremely painful loading screen. But since the loading screen is up, it does kind of mention that we have begun the first contact day festivities as well. And depending on how timing goes, we might do one, maybe two of the things on that mission. Captain, long-range scans confirm the Deferi ambassador's suspicions. It appears that there is a portion of the star chart hidden in the ruins on the planet's surface. Something is interfering with scans, though, so we can't pinpoint the location from here. An away team might be able to do surface scans in order to locate the star chart and retrieve it, but we will need to close to transporter range in order to beam down. Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. But just in case we have unwelcome visitors, we will go in under cloak. Just in case. I'm not saying that I don't trust the Breen. Okay, I am saying I don't trust the Breen. So, here we go with our usual cast of characters. Volkrav, my engineer/intel officer. Siege, my science officer. Valera, my tactical expert. And finally, Sarek, my Gorn doctor who may or may not have been responsible for killing his predecessor. I still can't prove this. And of course, Zidane, the Klingon warrior. And so we go through another slow thing. Now, we've also got an event campaign associated with this whole... I see right now it's doing the Empire Advances. But for the first contact day, there's also another event campaign. And if you do it for at least 14 days worth, you'll get an android combat pet. Which... I'm... really, calling an android a combat pet? I mean, I can see him as bridge officers, but as a combat pet? Come on, guys. Whatever happened to free will? Captain, down there. That ruined area is consistent with records of the potential preserver sites. If there really is a fragment of the star chart on this planet, we will find it there. So why didn't you beam us over to the ruins? You can only expect so much out of my crew. They keep doing this kind of thing to me, though, and I'm going to start looking to replace them the hard way. Sir, I've just received updated data from the ship's computer. Apparently, this site closely resembles a preserver site in the Began system. The indigenous people there were able to access the site by performing a ritual. Records indicate that 3 people arranged themselves atop plinths, forming arrows to point east, then south, then southeast. That's all the data I have, sir, but we may find it applicable to this site as well. And we have some instructions there, which we don't need to read out because, well, I'll be demonstrating it live and in person momentarily. So, you'll notice we have these interesting little squares here. Well, not the squares, but we have these nice little corner spots that are, well, lighting up. And this is what I like about this mission, because this is going to require you to actually make use of your bridge crew. Now, because my memory is like a leaky sieve, even under the best of circumstances, we're going to take a look at my dialogue there so I know exactly where to point them. Now, this way, the way I'm facing right now, is north. So the first thing I want to do is make an arrow pointing to the east. Now to do that, I'm going to need to put some of my people around to the corners. Oops, wrong one. Haha. I did the everybody go there command, and I don't want everybody. I just want one person to go there. Sarah, you handle that one. Valkrav, you go here. Valkrav, I said, go here. Okay. Valera, you go there. One of you is going to follow instructions. And I will sit in the center. And look, it tells me to activate a panel. It worked, Captain. There are fluctuations in the base of the structure. Only 2 more configurations until we are granted access. Okay, so next, we want to be able to point south. Now the good news is, I only have to move Sarek in order to achieve that configuration. So Sarek, go over there. And we'll activate panel 7. Something is working, sir. I'm picking up significant energy shifts in the structure beneath us. 1 more configuration should unlock the structure. Now, southeast is a little more interesting because now I can't rely on the one I'm standing on. Southeast, the point is over here. So I'm going to move Valera, who can follow instructions, to the corner here. Then I'm going to move over here. But unfortunately, this doesn't help because I'm not close enough to interact with that panel. Or am I? Oh, not anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm standing off of this. And we're going to send Siege over there. I'm going to hope panel 3 is the right one here because Kapla! Sensors show that the structure is reconfiguring itself internally. It appears to be generating a holographic display matrix. We should record the data to a tricorder for later processing, sir. But I am sure that we have found the first portion of the Preserver's star chart. And there it is. So let's scan that puppy down. Sir, ship sensors are reporting multiple anomalous contacts. It may be Breen ships at long range, sir. The transporter room is standing by to beam you up as soon as you're ready. Let's do it. If the Breen want to start trouble, we will be more than happy to finish trouble. Yeah, there it is. A600 Android Combat Pet. Plus, there's a badge box that comes with each day. I'm not particularly interested in the Combat Pet, so I'm certainly not going to be working on it. There's a Breen attack force converging on our position, Captain. They must have realized that we would be coming here for part of the star chart, sir. I'll bet they waited for us to do the work, so they could swoop in and steal our data. The Breen should not profit from their treachery. Going to red alert. Kagan, keep in mind who the captain here is. You may be finding yourself out of a job in the horribly near future. Watch yourself. We're going to cloak up almost immediately, so I can do the ambush attack. Although I don't know if I got a chance to do it or not because of the tracker beams. Okay, now that the tractor beams are up, now we're going to do a little bit of payback. These are only frigates, so I'm not expecting them to last very long. One down. A few more to go. How is he still alive? Color me disappointed. But that won't last long. And one to go, and he doesn't look like he's in good shape, does he? That's the last of them, sir. Though with all this debris, I don't trust the sensors. There could be more waiting for a chance to attack. The computer has completed its analysis of the star chart, and there is an encoded marker indicating that the Sahinga system is a significant location. Perhaps we should investigate there next. I'll lay in a course on your command, sir. Do so. So we'll let that roll up, and yeah, we're gonna have to do it the hard way, and it's all the way over here. Luckily, being at the top level, I have access to the quantum slip. Hello. Okay, looks like our autopilot sucks. Oh, I can see we're going to have to put the engineers on that in the near future. We're going to make use of the quantum slipstream drive, which will increase my speed to transwarp factor 36. That's right. We're moving fast enough that standard warp factors are no longer an issue. That's the magic of quantum slipstream. Now, just as a point of comparison, our normal maximum speed is transwarp 12. That's because we really ranked up those, well, no, it can't be, because that's the warp engines. You know, just out of curiosity, do I have anything that I could use to, I could do some upgrades on the warp drive. That could prove to be very useful. I need 70,000 to knock it up to 13. And, well, I don't got 70,000. Yet. What I could do, it is an engineering thing. So theoretically, I could build a bunch of improved tech upgrades. Let's see, I need coolant injectors. We'll make 5 of them, because that'll take a little less than a minute. And when they're done, then I can create improved tech upgrades. Now, carefully note that improved tech upgrades are probably not going to be incredibly great. I'm not entirely sure how much I'll get off of them, to be honest. I just didn't want to continue pushing up the ranks on this thing. Not this time, at any rate. So, let's see. In progress. Collect results. Go to engineering. Go to the tech upgrades. I mean, the tech upgrade is basically the reason why I did this. Unfortunately, unlike the other stuff, I've got to treat this like almost like a duty officer thing. I don't have any of those catalysts. And that will take 10 minutes to create. And that will take 10 minutes to create. And unfortunately, I can only make 2 at a time. Well, fine, be that way. While we're waiting, we will go for the next leg of the star map. Surely they will be done by the time I get the second portion. Then again, maybe not. Hey, sometimes stuff happens. I can't help but wonder if some of these really slow loading screens has to do with the fact that these are old maps, old missions, maybe not quite as optimized. Part of me likes to think that. Then I think about how it happens on new maps and new stuff, so the theory goes right to pot right away. Captain, I am detecting a gaseous anomaly on the far side of the planet. That seems like a good place to start our search, sir. Far side of the planet, huh? Oh, good thing we've got pretty good impulse engines. That said, there's a whole lot of gas pockets around here. Ah, now this one up here looks like it's anomalous. But no, we're heading to this one. Well, you know, I don't argue with my science officers. If they say that this one's the one that's anomalous, then I'm going to believe it. I'm continuing to fly my D7 legendary battlecruiser. Sir, the gases are of a type unknown to us. It could be a weapon, perhaps a form of untriggered explosive, or an ionized gas that plasmates when in contact with a warp field. I am completing a more detailed analysis now. Yes, I'd kind of like to know if something bad happens if a warp field hits it. Sir, the preservers use various forms of matter to conceal their codes, and this gas has the same properties. The preservers manufactured these gas molecules as a code. When overlaid on the system orbital maps, the molecule structure points to the small moon nearby. Recommend we approach the moon and search for any more traces of preserver technology. Alright, so we're going to have to go all the way over there from the looks of it. Well, I suppose it could be worse. Then again, I shouldn't taunt fate like that, because saying that it could be worse is usually a good sign that it's going to get worse. Oops, I'm a little close to the atmosphere there. Skipping the air envelope there. Not necessarily the smartest move I could make. Scan it down. Sir, the moon's interior has been carved into an enormous map of the orbits in this system. The map indicates the presence of 2 large asteroids, but we can only find one in the scanners. Based on the orbits, they may have collided some time ago. That would have been glorious to see. We may find remnants in the debris that remains from that collision. Okay, so, well, that looks like a pretty large chunk of rubble. Let's go check it out. I can sense my crew getting antsy because they're not killing things. So impatient. Okay, something's interesting over here. And look, destroy asteroid rubble. So clearly there is something here that I can kill. Well, explode. And look, I'm uncovering some sort of technology. And there it is. These preservers are fond of riddles and secrets. We have prevailed nonetheless. We should scan the star chart and add it to our existing fragment. Perhaps it will point the way to the next fragment. Scan it in. The computer has synthesized a new star chart from our 2 fragmentary scans, Captain. Preliminary analysis indicates... Hey! Miguel Madra, thank you for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. I do the weekly Star Trek Online streams on Wednesday nights starting at 8 o'clock. And I usually go till around roughly 10 o'clock. That's Eastern time. And today we are kind of going into a blast from the past, doing the Breen episodes from the old features way back in the early days of Star Trek Online. We are on the mission Cold Case, looking to put together the special star chart left by the preservers that will theoretically lead to an archive of their accumulated knowledge. The computer has synthesized a new star chart from our 2 fragmentary scans, Captain. Preliminary analysis indicates that whoever created these charts placed great significance on an L-class planet in the Manex system. Course plotted and standing by to engage on your command, sir. As you may have guessed, I am presently running a Klingon character, who was basically made up during the Klingon recruitment event, the first one, and flying the legendary D7 battlecruiser, which is, in my opinion, still the best Klingon battlecruiser in Star Trek. At least as far as the design goes. I'll go that far. There may be more heavily armed and more dangerous Klingon starships in Star Trek Online, but my heart stays with the classic design. I mean, it just screams Predator. Of course, it also screams, I can blow you in half by blowing apart that next section, but we tend to ignore that. Why should the Klingons worry about trivial details like snapping our starship in half? It's probably why they went with the Vorcha variants. Thicker necks. Alright. Here we are in Manek, and looks like we got to close in a little closer to the planet itself. So let's see what we can find out here. Once again, the painfully slow loading screen. I mean, come on, my computer is like 10 years superior to the game when the mission was put together. A significantly higher end. Why does it take this long to load up the screen? Captain, I'm detecting a Breen squadron dead ahead, but they're moving away from us at full impulse. The Breen have no honor, but they are not cowards. They would not shy away from a fight unless it served no purpose for them. If, for example, they already have a piece of the star chart. I can set an intercept course, sir. Do you want to chase them down and take the chart from them? Oh, yes. Activate cloaking device. Combat auras. Buffs active and fire. We're going to see just how many holes we can put in their ships. That's one. That's two. These guys really didn't have much of a chance, did they? And there's three. the satisfaction of a job well done. Sir, we have intercepted a transmission from one of the Breen ships. The message was unsecured. They must not have had time to encrypt it during the firefight. The message contains a fragment of the star chart. They must have retrieved it from the planet before we arrived. For all we know, Breen ships could already be en route to the archive. I will begin analysis to determine our next location immediately. Yeah, worked fast, Siege. Star chart analysis complete, Captain. The map is leading us back to Rava 2. We cannot allow the Breen to stop us from attaining our goal. We need all the pieces of the chart to find out what the preservers are hiding. Course for the Rava system laid in. We can leave on your command. Consider my word given. We will not let the Breen gain the rewards to be gained from the preserver charts. It will be in Klingon hands or none. Ah, I see my first 2 engineering tech upgrades are done. So let's build the next 2. Now let's see. Are these upgrades? Yeah, only 5,000 technology points for those. Oh, this stinks. Oh, I just wasted some time here. They say on engines or engineering consoles, but they don't do warp cores. Oops. Well, it didn't really cost me much to do that. But now I'm kind of curious as to... Well, you know, if it's not engineering, then by definition it almost has to be science. I didn't think science would do warp cores, but I mean, warp cores are upgraded here. So it made sense that warp cores would be improved by these. But apparently, no. And I'm not high enough to do anything for that, so maybe somewhere along the line I'll bring out a freighter or something like that, and why don't I do that now, actually? And we'll talk to the freighter here, and we'll go to the exchange, and we're going to take a look for tech upgrades. And I want to see which one deals with warp cores, because I'm a little miffed. It's not science. It's obviously not weapons. We know it's not engineering, because we checked that. Let's do purple quality. No. Yeah, there was no chance it was going to be on shields. I can't believe that none of these work on warp cores. I'm flabbergasted, I really am. Well, it certainly explains why I have 3 of these here when I thought I only had 2. Allowed upgrade types. Engineering. Oh, they are here. I'm so confused. Okay, let's see. I don't think it actually costs me any dilithium until I have to actually... Oh, no, here it is, 950 dilithium. Okay, that one's not fair, because the recruitment one is basically no dilithium cost. This one gave me 12,000. You know what? I'm just going to sit tight on that. I don't see any need to immediately improve that warp core. At some point I'll look into it further, but right now, letting sleeping dogs lie. So, Rava 2. This could be the critical piece of the map. Now, we're not even going to ask how the Breen got a hold of the first map part. Well, okay, they may have done it from their attack on the ruins. The second map part, though, we did kind of leave turned on that asteroid. That was a mistake. We should have destroyed that thing before we left. Scanners are picking up evidence of a running skirmish on the surface of the planet, sir. It appears that the Breen are attacking an archaeological dig site. We cannot allow the Breen to escape with a piece of the star chart. Quite right. Get us in a standard orbit, and we will teach the Breen not to interfere with the Klingon Empire. It might also teach the Breen that maybe, just maybe, the smarter move might have been to, you know, not irritate an ally of the Empire. So, beaming down. And once again, slowly and painfully loading up the map. If only Cryptic would replace the three-legged hamsters on their hamster wheels. Or maybe not feed them so much. There we go, finally. Acceleration. Sir, we are scanning the preserver power sources from inside that boulder near the center of the crater. The Breen seem to be patrolling the entire area. This will be an excellent opportunity to hone our skills in battle. Once we have dispatched the Breen guards, we can find the preserver technology and claim it for the Empire. Alright. Well, since we have these fools over here, we'll start on them first. And since they're pretty far away, we'll open up with the ranged weapons. How about a little fire, Scarecrow? Oops, cryo grenade, that's bad. I wasn't able to roll away quite in time. Maybe that's why. No, that was something else. Alright, we've got a couple other targets. We're going to grab the ones up here first. That area over here looks awfully suspicious, and I'm going to leave. That feels like I should leave that one for last. I like you people. That is why I'm going to kill you last. Oh, looks like I'm close enough to do some hacking and slaying. So let's break out the Batleth, because after all, I do have like 1,500 more kills to go before I can unlock the last of the melee traits. Triune gas. I'm not even sure why I bothered. Okay. This is the last group. And you know what? I think they changed this mission because I'm pretty sure there used to be either 4 or 5 groups. Because I seem to recall there used to be some folks on this ridge up here. So, you know, stuff changes. That's just, you know, part of the game. Oh, cheated of my melee kills. that's okay. The bad guys are down. Okay, destroy the cave wall. With the brain eliminated, we can destroy the face of that boulder and take the preserver relics. Yeah, you know what? Hacking at the thing probably isn't the way to go. And here we are. And hey, this is a familiar looking thing. I wonder if there's a puzzle I have to deal with. Let's turn on the console and find out. Oops. Unwelcome guests. Now you're probably wondering why nothing is happening. Here we go. I'd like to personally thank you for finding the final star chart fragment. If I'd known you were going to ultimately prove useful, perhaps I'd have considered sparing your life. Of course, I'd have only spared it up to this point anyway, so things would have ended the same either way. Still, considering all you've done to aid the Breen on their final goal, I might consider letting you and your officers live. Oh, I know you'll reject my offer and charge me like a thoughtless beast, but I thought I should make it anyway. Man, this guy knows Klingons. If you wish to fall today, however, I'm happy to help you. Why don't you think it over and give your answer to Thought Par? He's been dying to meet you ever since the defeat of Thought Gran. Well, you know, so far we've beaten the tar of every one of your thoughts. So, I'm not impressed. And unfortunately, you made the mistake of coming within range of my melee attacks, which means your day is going to be very poor indeed. Oh, yes, how do you disintegrate someone with a melee weapon? Some questions you just don't ask. So let's scan this final piece of the star chart. This might be the final piece of the star chart. We should scan, then assemble it. Scan it. And assemble it. And there it is. Scanning and transmissions are complete, Captain. We should now be able to follow the Preserver star chart. If we arrive before the Breen, we can take whatever we find. And if we arrive after, we will have the chance to engage the Breen again. Tactical team ready to return to the ship on your command. Beam us up now. So, let's have a chat with Ambassador Syrah. Excellent work, Dahar Master. Our stellar cartography teams are looking at the star charts you recovered as we speak. It might take some time to completely compensate for the stellar shift, but if we can pinpoint a location, I am confident that my government will authorize an expedition to find this Preserver archive. All things in balance, and all things in time. So, as I indicated, I'm going to grab that biothermal dampener. It is a device, which I will enable here. And I did promise to show what it does, but the first thing we're going to do is go to my Starship bridge, because I kind of have to be on the ground for this. And there's something else on the Starship that I want to show as well. More slow loading times. Load faster. Here we go. Now, biothermal dampener. And there you go. Snow and frost. Now, here's a fun fact. This was not originally how it worked. Originally, you could target players in a non-combat kind of setting, or maybe even a combat setting, and freeze them in place. They had to be friendly, though. You couldn't do it to an opponent on, say, a PvP area. You could only do it on places that were social maps, like, say, Space Dock. And as you might imagine, there are some people who went hog wild with this thing, throwing these things and freezing people into place for such a long time that the devs said, yeah, you know what, this was not the smartest thing we've ever done. So they stopped doing that. But that was a little bit of history worth mentioning. When I go to the crew deck for the other thing that I wanted to show here, and I'm pretty sure I want to go to the left side. I think that's where the mess hall is. A long neglected aspect of the game. Oops, that's the brig. Swing and a miss! So the mess hall must be the north side, relatively speaking. In space, north, south, east, and west are really silly concepts. Now, folks may remember that I was here earlier with the Horta eggs for the trophies. Well, this particular mission also has a trophy. At least it used to. What happened to the trophy? There used to be a trophy. I wonder if I have to finish the arc for that. That might be it. I may be jumping a little. I might be jumping the gun a little bit. Oh, the Admiralty missions. I did say those were going to wrap up sometime, didn't I? Let's collect the ones I can collect. Tier 1 for the Klingon Empire. But Tier 10 is a long way away from that. Let's grab this one. And a science. And then we have... I was hoping for better. But it is what it is. Tactical and sciences. Needed one that's decent with tactical and science. Good enough. And that takes care of that. Alright. Before we pick up the next mission, let's have a chat. Well, first I gotta get back to the DeFerris sector, so... Let's set a course for Zarya. That should get me close enough. I'm hoping it'll get me close enough. Because the area of influence... there we are. I can stop now. What does Chancellor Jimpak have to say about where things stand? We've discovered a Preserver star chart. Track down the location of the Preserver secrets at all costs. If the Deferi have been concealing such technology from us, then perhaps they are not as weak as we originally believed. Clearly they have not discovered how to use it, though, as their ships are ineffective and woefully underarmed. Ah, the High Council has requested that I order you to refrain from any engagements with the Federation in Deferi space. We dare not risk losing any leads on this Preserver technology in the middle of a skirmish that gains us no territory. The Breen, however, are fair game. Good hunting. So, Ambassador Sura, cold storage. The finale of the Breen arc. Our scientists have consulted with your commanders, and they concur with your crew's theory. If there is an intact Preserver library, it is likely to be located in the Lenas system. I suggest that you begin your search on Lenas 3. It has a climate very similar to Defera. If the Preservers settled here eons ago, it is possible that they would have chosen a similar world for this facility. Please, be safe, but be quick. Long-range sensors have detected marine vessels in the space near the Lenas system, and I fear they have made the same conclusions we have. You must find the Preserver technology before they do. I'm not even going to ask how they found it out without the last... Well, they did beam down. Ugh. We really need to be more thorough in destroying the pieces of evidence before we leave. Usual trifecta: experience points, expertise, and dilithium, and a choice of either a dielectric oscillation resilient shield array, which sounds impressive. It does have a pretty impressive maximum shield capacity, 7,000. Of course, it's going to have to work really hard to be better than my 14,000 shield capacity. Or, what I like, the CRM 200. A freeze ray. If you remember my character Telel, the one I ran before the Klingon recruit here, she had a flamethrower. This is kind of the opposite of that. So, Lenas and... Ooh, Lenas is practically right next door. So I can't even justify popping the transwarp on this one, because it's right here. Of course, it's the one on the right-hand side, not on the left-hand side, where I was aiming. Cold storage. Time to come in from the cold. Yeah, I couldn't help that. I make no apologies. Once again, slow loading. Work faster. There we go. It just required motivation. Captain, sensors show a skirmish between a small Breen invasion force and small pockets of Alpha Jem'Hadar. Records show that the Dominion have had a base in this system since during the Dominion War. It is conceivable that the Alpha Jem'Hadar took it after the Dominion retreated. If we strike quickly, we can take out both groups with ease, arming weapons. Kagan, you have jumped ahead of me again. I think we're going to have a little chat about your future on this vessel. You will not like how the chat ends. I think Kagan is getting ready to leave us as far as cast goes. I did say early on that there would be a good chance that I would make some of my bridge crew that I started with casualties of war. I think Kagan is on the list. Of course, I'm not entirely sure why I'm trying to take out the Jem'Hadar first, because the green were the bigger pains in the posterior. Ah well. Sometimes things just happen. Let's see if I can show them what life is like as a tractor beam target. I shouldn't laugh too hard. They are still pounding my shields. Oh, that's interesting. They're tractor beaming the Jem'Hadar on that one. They have failed to understand who the real threat here is. It will be the last time they fail on such a feat. are holding up pretty well. I'll give them that. The easiest way to stop a tractor beam is to blow up the ship that has the tractor beam. Cloak up. Want to get that sweet, sweet ambush damage. Unfortunately, there we go. Want to make sure that I'm attacking the correct side. You know, the side that doesn't have a shield operational. You know, the plan is not quite going as I'd hoped. Come on, get that last couple percent down. And that leaves one more set of targets. The bad news is they're both green. Annoying, but not exactly unexpected. Showtime. One. Now let's see if we can convince the other one to politely blow up. Ah, the sound of exploding enemy vessels. Balm to a Klingon's heart. There are Breen life signs already on the surface, Captain. We will need to hurry, or they'll ransack the archive. Well, we can't let them do that, can we? Slow loading. If I could get away with it, I would play the music from Final Jeopardy at times like this. But with my luck, the DMCA folk would have a fit. Best not to chance it. Here we go. Sensors show multiple life forms, Captain, but something is interfering with the biological filtering. I can't tell exactly what is out there. I recommend that we proceed with caution, but we need to find the Breen before they can access the Preserver Archive. I'm getting some interesting readings from an object in the northeast. Recommend we head in that direction. Readings indicate it could be fully or partially buried, so keep your eyes open. Alright, so let's take a look around. It's kind of a very interesting planet. Very leafy, kind of. Hey, you can't expect too much out of it. It was one of the early new planets. And as you can see, it's a reasonably sized map. I mean, it's not huge, but neither is it tiny. Man, look at the way that tree grew. They got some interesting flora here. That's all I gotta say. And look, there's an object there, and there's Breen. And here's a plasma grenade. We care enough to send the very best. Oh, they didn't last long, did they? Okay, let's scan this object. Captain, this device seems to be connected to a subterranean power source. I can't pinpoint the location of the source, but if we can locate an area where the energy disturbance is strongest, then we should be able to triangulate the location of the underground power network. Sir, I'm reading multiple transporter signatures. I believe we've alerted the Breen to our location. No kidding, since, you know, they had the attack going on in the middle of the conversation here. I mean, come on. Actually, let's use this and get everybody up. I mean, come on! You're going to have a dialogue including transporter beam-ins. At least let the dialogue get there before they start attacking. Hey, who's that? More of them! Oh, they're not going to get away. They're not going to get away. Eat plasma grenade! Whee! No, I'm afraid you don't get to do the medical generator, buddy. It's good to be a Klingon warrior. Unfortunately, I seem to have made a wrong turn. Oh no, I didn't make a wrong turn. I mean, I did make a wrong turn, but it wasn't that wrong of a turn. We'll just take the long way. And look, another patrol. Clearly, they did not learn the lesson from the first patrol, but to be fair, they weren't in a position to learn from it either. Oops, I made a mistake. I'm here in the middle of a freeze area. But strangely enough, I don't seem to have been damaged too badly by it, which is surprising. I'm not going to argue with good fortune. Usually those cryo grenades are nasty. Oh, another group just beamed down. Well, I think the Breen know we're here. Oh no, guard. I'm afraid you get to go down the hard way. Ooh, that looks hot. Ooh, that looks hot. I don't know if I want to be standing on it. Scan anomalous energy readings. Well, why don't I? Sir, I have a plan. The energy readings are faint neutrino emissions, which means the Preserver archive may be powered by an antimatter reactor. If the Preservers were using antimatter reactions thousands of years ago, their technology may be much more advanced than we realized. Captain, if we can locate the antimatter reactor's neutrino emitter, I can use resonance mapping to chart the whole facility. Alright, everybody. See, keep your eyes out for anything that looks like a neutrino emitter. Does anybody actually know what a neutrino emitter looks like? I didn't think so. No, not you, Siege. I know you know what they look like. Okay, Valcraft, you might know what they look like too, but that's about as far as I'm willing to go. Oh, is there someone else over here? There is. Not anymore. Okay, this is a buried looking object. It looks preserver-ish. Let's scan it down. Excellent. We can map out the entire facility from here, sir. And from the looks of it, there have been multiple cave-ins and signs of recent excavation. The Breen must already be inside. I've located a surface entrance nearby. We should get there immediately. Well, by all means. And, oh, what's this? Yep, an obelisk. Definitely preserver design. Okay, somebody wake up the doctor. Well, you gotta expect that. Cold against, you know, lizard person. That's a bad combination. Physician, heal thyself. I know, that was too easy. This obelisk may be key to accessing the archive. Using the information we've gathered thus far, we should examine it and see if it can provide information on how we might proceed. Oh, it can't be too difficult. Although one does have to wonder how the heck we missed scanning this from orbit. Oh, green transporter signatures. They're right here. I can't accept that. A little fire, Scarecrow. I love how I've got a pair of jackal mastiffs rolling right now. Not to mention the Horta. I was getting ready to say it seems quiet, too quiet, but I'm afraid the Beeman kind of preempted me. Okay, now that we've taken care of the baddies, let's examine the scan results. Sir, when that last group of brain beamed in, I detected an energy pulse coming from a section of the obelisk. I believe that section to be an access point to the archives. Based on our research so far, I should be able to open that access point. Well, get to it, Siege. And so again, loading, loading, loading. Fear and loading. I admit sometimes I kind of have to stretch for the jokes. I make no apologies. How clever you are, Jadan. I see you found the entrance to this ancient weapons store. Too bad your journey will end here, at the hands of my most elite. I'm almost sad to see you go after all you've done for me. That is, after all we've been through together. Yeah, you're a funny guy, Tron. This does have a familiar layout, doesn't it? It's certainly got a familiar tile set. So let's go around and, oops, looky looky. So let's see about turning these guys into greasy chunks. Well, they'll only be greasy chunks if I kill them with a bat'leth. Ooh, right through the wall. Ouch. We hit him so hard his head went through the wall. 3 more groups. The bad news is they're in the same chamber and 2 of them are pretty close to each other. I think we need some strategery here. And the Jackal Mastiffs run immediately. Yeah, I knew those cryo grenades were going to be a problem in close quarters, but we got time to wait for the effects to wear out, and then we can just revive the fallen. Okay, come with me, people. And let's go over here. And let's be a little more strategic. You here. You here. You there. And you there. That way I have them spread out far enough where the single one of those grenades doesn't whack everybody. And as for me, I'm going to be bait. Yeah, there's that cryo grenade on schedule. But it doesn't affect very many of my people. Strategy. One more grouping. Let's see if I can get their attention. Oops, I didn't expect that. Let's get close enough to Sarek so we can start popping off those healing feelings. My doctor's got to be good for something, right? All right. Everybody, regroup. We must need to use these consoles to access the archives. Preserver technology is often sound-based. We'll need to find the right pattern. All right. We have a console here. Okay. Mid, high, and oh, there we are. By definition, the code that you entered didn't work, sir. We'll need to try a different combination to gain entry to the archive. I believe you could order those sounds to be an ascending scale. Now, as you might imagine, originally, when you interacted with the console, it didn't tell you about the tone. So you actually have to be pretty good at determining this tone off your own hearing. If you're tone deaf, man, if you were tone deaf, you were screwed. But the devs did make things a little easier. You did it, Captain. We've gained access to the archive. And I love hearing the almost music that comes out of the consoles now. You can't really hear it too well because of the Star Trek Online background music. How kind of you to open that lock for me. Every time I wonder if it was wise to let you live, you do something like this and show me you're worth keeping around. Yeah, you keep talking, Trill. Your time's coming. Oh, and it looks like we got some bad guys rolling here. And we're going to have a number of waves of attack here. So, we're not going to fiddle around with bat'leth attack. We're just going to burn them down as quickly as possible. In fact, I'm going to grab some of my security guards to help. I want nothing but raw, unmitigated damage. Hopefully they'll spawn in fast enough before my people spawn out. There we go. Gotta keep the aggro rolling. And there we are. That takes care of the ambushes. The brain won't give up without a fight, Captain. We need to access the archive quickly before the battle begins again. So we will leave the musical interlude behind. Go deeper into the caverns. And, well, we've got something here. Another obelisk and a console. And whoosh, what's this? Welcome, my children. Preserver Archivist. Welcome. Long have we waited for our children to seek us out. Who are you? I am the guardian of all who my people were, and all that they remember. My task was to keep the archive safe until the day when our children would be united and would want to know who we were. Welcome, my children. I'm so happy to finally meet you. Tell me about your race. Long ago, life developed on our world before all others. We explored the galaxy, but we were alone. But what is life when there is no one with which to share the joys or the sorrows? So if the galaxy would not give us companions, we would create them. We created you. Our scientists seeded many worlds and directed evolution. We wanted you to resemble us, but more importantly, we wanted you to understand us. Unfortunately, we knew that we would not live to see you become what you have become, and create the great wonders that we knew were possible. Most of my people are gone, and the fact that a fragment of them lives on in you is enough. But we knew that someday you would seek us out, and so a few of us remained, waiting for you and the world that would be. Your technology. Tell me about it. We are the technology you seek. Our main focus of study was the genetic code. We learned how to manipulate this code not only to create dozens of species to seed across hundreds of worlds, but also how to use it to alter our own genetics. You might call us living computers. Each preserver has the genetic memory of our entire race. All of our knowledge and history is stored within each of us. Are there more preservers here? Hundreds. While each preserver has the genetic memory of the entire race, it was deemed important to preserve individuals so that if the time came when we could live with our children, there would be sufficient numbers to maintain our species. We built this place and slept, dreaming of the world that would become. We dreamed of the world you would create. So, in other words, see all those pods hanging from the ceiling? Apparently that is just a portion of the available pods holding the preservers. So what will happen to you now? Some will return to their long sleep. A few may want to see the world their children have created. The galaxy is yours now, my children. We are so pleased with what you have created. Of course, there's always got to be a jerk who decides to stop in. Everything here now belongs to FotR's. We will freely share our knowledge with all our children. Give me the secrets of your ancient weapons. I will use them to destroy my enemies. No, my child, I cannot help you. There are no weapons here. Do you know who I am? You will obey FotR, or all the fairy will... This is a place of knowledge, a place of learning. A library? A library? No! Destroy it all! You know, if there's one thing I can't abide, it's people who trash books. I am always happy to fight on the side of the library. So we've got Breen all over the place, including our good friend FotR, who's decided to come down in person. I will enjoy watching him die. Oops, and there he is. Up, and he's teleported himself elsewhere. The coward. There's some more of the guys, so let's say hi. One more group. One more group, and FotR is still lurking around somewhere. Perhaps he's gone back to his ship. Nobody really believes that. This is the climactic battle. You're not going to have the main bad guy for the arc decide to sit it out. And yet, that does appear to be exactly what he's done. Where are you? Oh, there he is. Enough! I am through toying with you! Time to die! Where are my other two guys? Valkyrev and Bolero, where the heck are they? Oh well, if it's gotta be just the three of us, it'll be just the three of us. Captain, a Deferi ship has entered the system. They're requesting permission to beam down science teams to begin examining the archive. Word from Kronos is that this will be a joint operation, but that Chancellor Jumpak has agreed to let the Deferi lead the investigation. Excellent. Let's talk to the boss. Thank you, Captain, for your help. Since I was a child, I've listened to stories about the Preservers. I never even dreamed that someday I would have the chance to meet one, but you have made this possible. My people will celebrate this day. The balance has been restored. You have our eternal gratitude. Captain, this could be a great boon for the Empire. The Preservers are the earliest known sentient race. Their knowledge about the earliest days of the galaxy will be invaluable. They may even be able to tell us more about the Iconians and the Herc. We will learn, and we will exploit this knowledge to protect and expand the Empire. I recommend we return to the Salah. Ambassador Sura will want to know what we have found, and we must report to Kronos. I expect that the High Council will have plans for this archive. We can leave on your orders. And that is the Breen Arc. Ambassador Sura, you have made a most extraordinary discovery. The preservers are alive. We can learn so much from them. They will have knowledge of the early days of the galaxy that has been lost to time. Perhaps they even remember the Iconians, or the Deccan Empire. But more important than even the knowledge we gain is the safety of my people. The Breen threat has ended, and we have you to thank. For now and always, you will be a friend to the Deferi. May your life always be in perfect balance. So let's grab the CRM 200. And let's do a quick look at the... it's an exposed weapon, so I'm not inclined to... I can give it a siege, but siege... could give it to Sarek. You know what? Sarek is going to lose the Vodwar gun and get the cold gun, which is really ironic since he's the lizard. And we'll give Siege this gun. Not Siege. Bolero? No, not Bolero. It'll be Siege. And I think Volcrav is already using a Mark 12, so I don't need to worry about that. Good enough for me. So now that I have that out of the way, I see I've got some more Admiralty missions I've rolled through, so we'll get the 2 out of the way here. Ugh, this one's going to be horrible. All those 100 numbers. And tactical, tactical, tactical. Who's a high-end tactical? That's as good as we're going to get. And the other one stinks, so we'll just grab this one and call that a win. Now, interestingly enough, that is not the last thing that can happen on Defera. And we're going to take a quick look. We're not going to really do much there, but I do want to point out that after the Breen were taken care of, Defera would become the center of one more really inconvenient incident. Oh, I also notice I've got a Endeavor completed here, so why don't I open that box up? R&D materials. Hooray! It's been an age since I've seen something really good from the Endeavor boxes. I'm a tad miffed about it. Only a tad, but you know, it still counts. So when we go to the Defera system, we're going to have a couple of options. We can beam down to Defera proper, but then you'll notice this other option. Enter the Defera invasion zone. And you don't beam down with any of your crew, you just beam down yourself. Which is disturbing because the folks invading Defera, they're the worst possible choice of the people you want to see invading Defera. The Borg are invading Defera. And you can see they've got this big complex there. And there's a couple different regions where you can do a bunch of missions and get stuff that would be anti-Borg in nature. So the Deferi still have problems. But we're not going to worry about those problems at this point. Instead, we're going to do something else. I did indicate that First Contact Day is going on. So, we're going to do a First Contact Day sort of thing. And we're going to do one night in Bozeman. We're going to find ourselves traveling back to April 4th, 2063. To stop the Borg from preventing humanity's first contact with the Vulcans. But wait a second, you say. Didn't somebody already travel back in time to stop the Borg? Well, yes. Yes, somebody did. But apparently, they didn't do a good enough job. Let's find out more.
Good, you made it. I wasn't looking forward to dealing with this by myself. Our hollow emitters are doing their job, and the bombing should happen soon. Once that's finished, we can get started. I brought some remodulators. Once you've equipped one, you can drop the hollow shield and get moving.
Yes, that is 7 of 9. No, he does not look like he does in the Delta Quadrant stuff. We are looking at the version of her that you see on the Picard series. So, sorry, no skin-tight outfits for 7 of 9 here. Leather jackets and a badass attitude is all. What do you mean, bombing? What is happening here?
I know this might happen. Something to do with the effect of chronoton flux on short-term memory. Gotta love temporal mechanics.
Time travel.
Yeah.
Blast. You know, I was expecting Legend to comment on this one, Cap.
This is the missile complex where humanity's first warp-capable vessel was launched.
Right, so what's the problem we're here for?
The Borg are the problem. We're here, and they're trying to change history in their favor. History says the Borg failed because of Picard and the crew of the Enterprise, but as of now, history is wrong. Somehow the Borg managed to pull victory from the jaws of defeat tonight. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen.
Fine. So what was this about hollow emitters?
Right now we're effectively invisible inside this hollow shield. Once we're ready to move out, we'll drop it, and our personal emitters will kick in. Think of them as a sophisticated disguise kit. They'll make us look like we belong here. To the locals, we'll look like a band of 21st century humans wandering around the woods of Montana. Any other questions?
No, let's get started.
Okay, the bombing should end quickly thanks to the Enterprise. We're gonna need to move fast once things stop exploding.
Fine.
Don't forget to equip a frequency remodulator.
Yes. We are going to be dealing with Borg, aren't we? Luckily, I'm almost certain that
Don't forget to equip a frequency remodulator.
I heard you the first time, 7. We will take out my cryo grenade. Well, cryo thingy. And cryo thingy. Oh! There's the explosions. Deactivate the shield and let's get ready to move out.
Right, let's get moving. We need to get to the complex quickly.
I guess it would be impolite for me to use my bat'leth here. That might be a little too distinctive.
So much for the bombing run. Enterprise must have finished off the Borg vessel.
Do you mind explaining what the Enterprise is doing here?
Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to our own. Resistance is futile.
Oh, don't remember them hitting the ground this early.
After all this time, they still haven't learned. Resistance is inevitable.
7 of 9, trolling the Borg. Amazingly, these guys are not adapting at all. I mean, I'm hitting these guys with the same weapon, and I'm yet to... Oh, there we go. I shouldn't have said anything. Don't taunt fate. I guess the Borg aren't the only ones who have trouble learning.
Complex took some hits. Let's check for survivors.
Luckily, we have this big green arrow pointing to where we need to go. Oh, there's survivors, all right.
I'm not picking up any Borg life signs in the complex.
Good.
Picard and his people should be here now. Let's make sure before we move on.
Yes, we are perfectly ordinary 21st century humans. None of us stand out.
Tricorder's picking up multiple subspace comm signals in the area.
Is it the away team from Enterprise?
Some of them are Starfleet, but they're coming from inside the missile silo. Probably protecting Zeph and Cochrane. The rest of the signals are coming from the southwest. Any guesses as to the source?
Borg.
Got it in one. Looks like they managed to send down a few landing parties before their ship blew up. Chances are they're here to make our lives difficult. I think it's time we return the favor.
Yes. I am always happy to make their lives more difficult. They may have gotten used to fighting Starfleet, but they have yet to face the true force of Klingon warriors.
Your defenses are insufficient. You will be assimilated.
It's cute how they keep believing that. Assimilate this. Wait, somebody else already... That was already used by another Klingon, wasn't it? Well, you know, it's just as true now as it was then. As it will be. Technically speaking, that line hasn't happened yet. Assimilate my double-footed kick. Now, one of the fun things about this mission, you may have noticed, we have propane tanks here that you can blow up, and, well, apparently the Borg have not assimilated propane. Kinetic weapons have always done better against Borg than anything else.
There are lights over there. It's like a camp or something. Borg will be drawn to it like moths to a flame. We need to protect the locals. Picking up life signs ahead. Some of them are Borg.
Well...
What do you want? Get away from us!
You will be assimilated. You will adapt to serve the collective.
Of course, it occurs to me that here we are, perfectly ordinary 21st century humans, using advanced energy weapons.
Afraid something like this would happen. Take out those drones.
This probably didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. Oh well, if the cat's out of the bag, might as well go full Klingon. Oh, no you don't. You're getting a little too close to innocent 21st century civilian here. And as far as I'm concerned, these pathetic humans are under the protection of the Klingon Empire.
We're gonna need to do a memory wipe on the locals. Can't remember before.
Not to mention us.
Setting your tricorder to emit a neurolytic pulse should work.
Neurolytic pulse, huh? So you're saying that this is kind of a neuralizer. Just saying. Look into the flashy thingy. Neuralizing. They're not even subtle about it. That's a routine eye exam.
Looks like the Borg have changed their tactics. They're avoiding Cochrane and the Enterprise crew and focusing on assimilating the locals. Makes sense. After they lost their ship, they lost their numerical advantage.
Good. Let's keep it that way.
No argument here. We ran a quick scan of these drones. There's several references in their onboard nav systems to a location north of here. Designation Resource Node 01. We should check this out. Whatever they're up to isn't a good thing. Alright, this area's clear. Picking up Borg signals to the north, though.
Then let us go north. And make sure that whatever plans they have, they are
Apparently
frustrated.
Resource Node 01 is a garbage dump. It smells wonderful.
Well, let's
There
see.
must be something of tactical value.
Propane works.
Make sure they don't find it.
Oh man, that was just fun. We don't use high explosives on Borg anywhere near often enough. Okay, it's not technically high explosives, but it's good enough. Even more Borg. Can't get that. There we go.
Great. It smells and it's swarming. Take him down.
Oh no, I want to hit the... There we go. Oh, ow, that was a little too close. Oops, he's adapted. But he has not adapted to my feet. The agony of defeat.
Let's see if we can figure out what they were looking for here.
Good. You start up on that. I'm going to trigger this. Oh, you want me to look anyway. Fine.
Power amplifiers.
That's what I always imagined I would be doing as a captain of the KDF. Search through garbage piles.
Copper tubing.
It's at moments like this where I think to myself, where did I make the wrong turn?
And lithium batteries. Oh, hell.
They're trying to make a
I
smartphone.
think I know what they're doing here, and it's not good.
So what is it?
Point. I think they're trying to build a transporter. They might have lost their ship, but there's a lot of Borg still in Enterprise. If they can beam those drones down here, the situation will go from bad to worse.
That would be inconvenient. We need to find it.
The complex isn't far. Let's make sure it's secure, and then work on finding and dealing with this bootleg transporter.
Well, yes, I suppose we could check on them too. Whoever that was, stop playing with the propane. Now, there's something really interesting about the complex.
Sign of the Borg. Run a scan. Make sure Picard's team is all accounted for.
We'll do the scan here. I want to be a little careful here because...
Picking up Starfleet comm badges inside the bar and... Hold on. More Starfleet comm badges inbound, but they're on Borg drones.
Oh, by all means, let's take out these Borg before they become more of a problem. The good news is that the Starfleet Borg, they may not be assimilated enough to handle adaption. I think they've got to be Borg. That's good for us.
They say the Borg finished making their transporter. Those were assimilated Starfleet officers from Enterprise. But sweep the perimeter and make sure there aren't any Borg going after Cochrane.
Right. What's this?
Will Riker? Is that from Cochrane?
That's right, folks. If you stand out here long enough,
Yes.
you can hear the entire conversation between
No.
Deanna Troi and Will Riker upon finding Zefram Cochrane,
Deanna.
which features a drunken Deanna Troi. But we're gonna move on out just in case certain DMCA related things get involved. So let's continue moving on. That's one of the reasons why I didn't do the model rocket thing to commemorate the First Contact Day festivities, because they like to play the Magic Carpet Ride music that
Okay.
STO
Internet
licensed,
transmission towers on next
but
stop.
that's not good for Twitch, so better to not worry about that. Okay, more of the oh, there's an awful lot of the assimilated guys. Grenade time. Oops. I guess they have gotten the better adapting stuff on them now. Inconvenient. Let's remodulate the frequency before we go in. And man, there's an awful lot of Borg on that map. Hurry it up, 7. I do like the fact that 7's got these really badass pistols. I mean, take a look at them.
Take it out before this place is crawling with drones.
Now, when you think awesome dual pistols, those are awesome dual pistols. How can we make it happen?
There are 3 transporter pads. Each of them is powered by an array. And you can send a feedback pulse from each array to the transporter pad it powers. It should be enough to overload and destroy the pad.
The Borg aren't stupid.
Yeah, there's that. You're gonna need to keep them off me while I work, or this plan will go sideways real fast. After we're taking care of the transporter pads, we'll deal with any drones in the area. If we're lucky, that'll take care of this temporal crisis once and for all.
And if we're not lucky,
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? Right now, we have a transporter to shut down. Ready to do this?
yes, let's keep the
Get me to the first array
optimistic
and I'll
view.
start disabling their transporter.
And as far as I'm concerned, the optimistic view is this will be a glorious battle! Kapla!
This won't take long. We're using a simple modulating cipher.
Good, keep at it.
All right, this one's done. Let's go.
Oh boy, there's a whole bunch in there, isn't there? We need more propane. Propane has proven to be the best weapon against these guys.
2 to go. Stay sharp. They know we're up to something.
Yeah! What was your first clue, 7? Okay, now we're dealing with serious problems. Like the fact that there's a zillion of them coming here.
2 to go. Stay sharp. They know we're up to something.
You know, does the phrase pointing out the glaringly obvious mean anything to you, 7? Because that's what you're doing. And we are in trouble
2 to go.
with a capital
Stay sharp. They know
T.
we're up to something.
Sarek is down, which isn't that big a surprise since that's what Sarek does for a living. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Sarek, it's Siege.
Two to go. Stay sharp. They know we're up to something.
You know, you keep saying that, 7, but you know what? It's still obvious. Up, and there I go. I don't know if I can get anybody to assist me here. Oh, how about that? Let's get over here. Get 7 over in the vicinity so she can actually do something instead of having us sit here, having our hind ends being smacked 6 ways to Sunday.
Yeah, do that now.
Okay, that didn't work as well as I should have. Let's wait for them to get a little closer, a little closer, a little closer. Nice, I was hoping at
They're
least
onto
that
us.
one would be.
Security protocols just spiked.
And so
Not
much
in
for
a
that.
good way.
It didn't help that most of my people were already down. Really, when you've got like about a dozen Borg on you at once, things are going to go bad.
Two down. That last one's gonna be a real bitch.
No kidding. Especially since we've still got a zillion of these guys in our way.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
As a motivational speaker, 7, you stink.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
Yes, let me give you my personal opinion on that, 7. It's called Shut and Up.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
Got too many people going down like flies.
Only
Okay,
one
get
left.
Foul
Stay with me.
Grove.
We can do this.
I have no idea where Siege is. Part of the problem here is these guys keep spawning in. And that makes it a
one left.
little
Stay with me. We can
difficult
do
to
this.
stave them off. And we're down to one standing, me and one person standing. We're going to be doing another respawn real soon.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
Okay, I get Balera up.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
Nope. Okay, time for a full respawn. Okay, the plan is straightforward. We're rushing towards the waypoint and nothing else. Everybody goes on passive, so we're basically going to sprint for it.
Only one left. Stay with me. We can do this.
7. Allow me to offer a counterpoint. It goes like this. Shut up!
We have analyzed your tactics. We have adapted. We are bored.
Okay, everybody normal now. Go ahead and do your thing. It's times like this that make me miss cover shields.
We're using a fractal self-replicating security protocol. As fast as we can.
What does that even mean, 7? No, on second thought, don't tell me. Just work.
Got it. The transporter's out of commission.
Excellent. So that means we should have a limited number
The
of...
worst of it. I'm not picking up any Borg activity in the area. Nice work.
And what of the temporal crisis?
Over as far as you're concerned. I'll deal with all this Borg tech lying around. It's a mess, but my nanites will make short work of it. As for you, feel free to return to the present. Break, have a drink. You've definitely earned it.
Very good. We're not going to return to the present yet, though, because I want to go over what we got for all this. All of this was triple skill points, so, you know, extra XP. We got the mark package, and we're going to take a look at our reputations for a second here. Our Omnilus is 45. We're going to grab the competitive one because, well, even though it's something I don't really use, it's the only one that I haven't gotten to at least tier 5 on any character, and, well, this is an opportunity I can't pass up. Plus, chunks of dilithium ore. And we seem to have at least one green quality loot thing to pick up. And I'd feel bad if I'd ignored it. Okay, and now we'll return to the present. The day of first contact is saved, thanks to the Klingon Empire. Not what you would have expected, but who says Starfleet has to have all the fun with temporal shenanigans? I see that we've got Admiralty mission wrapped up, at least one. So we'll grab one more, and that puts us to level 2 of the Klingon stuff, which is good. Unfortunately, we have a big whopper of science requirement on this one. Plus 100. If there was ever a time for me to use something that had ignore science, this is it. Plus, I want a high engineering and tactical. Probably won't be enough, but it might be close enough. 99% chance? I'll take that. Hopefully they'll all succeed and give me a nice hunk of Admiralty XP to continue pushing forward. And that is going to do it for this evening. We'll come back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and we will do the second of the forgotten episodes. Specifically, think Spectres. I will also be online on Saturday afternoon streaming Star Citizen, so if you'd like to see what that game is like, feel free to stop by. I'll do that on 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Saturday to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Cap. Thanks, everyone, for watching, whether you are watching this live or video on demand, either here on Twitch or on YouTube. Always glad to have people stop by. Hope to see you all again. Legend told them there was a hot cyborg chick. Too late, Legend. That was earlier. We've done that. It's over now. So instead, I will see you all next time. Thank you all very much. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.